Happy Flossmas, everyone! Welcome to my channel. This is Crafty Kim here, and I'm going to show you how I put a biscournu together. So thank you for coming to my channel. If you've come from Caroline off the Grid Needle Arts during her Vlogmas Flossmas video, thank you very much for joining me. So I completed stitching the pattern, and then now I'm just going to show you an assembly what I've done. And so here it is here, and it's not actually a biscournu pattern. I actually used a pattern from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue 2019 holiday issue, and I actually used her ornament issue. This is Works by ABC Arlene Cohen. I used her ornament pattern. And the thing with making a biscournu, you can use any pattern as long as every side is equal. So this is 60 by 60. So it's fully square. You can turn it into a biscournu. So if it's 70 by 70 or 71 by 71, as long as it's even, you can turn it into a biscournu. So I actually had pulled, this pattern out actually earlier because I wanted to actually make these into biscournus as well. This is an older pattern by Jeremiah Junction, Patchwork Seasonal Squares. So I think these would make adorable biscournus. I can just picture it. So I'm really excited, especially this one here. I would love to turn that into a biscournu. And I'm pretty sure that these are 71 by 71. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 71 by 71 for that one. And so yeah, they can pretty much be turned into a biscournu. So I'm really excited about that. So you can take any pattern that you like and turn it into a biscournu. If you don't know what a biscournu is, oh, I meant to go grab mine. I'll be right back and grab one. This is actually one that was gifted to me by Lisa, the Modern Stitcher. See, it's actually a pincushion. I believe biscournu is a French word for an oddly shaped pillow or cushion, or an oddly shaped thing. So, and I believe this pattern is off of Etsy somewhere. If you do like this one. Very well made, gorgeous. I love it. Still love it, Lisa, of course. Treasure it always. So once you have them stitched up, I like to trim them down. So I haven't quite done that yet. So this is an even weave. My first one was done on Aida, which is a good fabric to start off of because it's very thick and, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Not pliable, but you can maneuver it a lot easier. It's not as flimsy as a linen, or this is sort of a little flimsy, but it should still be all right. And fair warning, there could be a chance I could bump my thing that's holding my camera because it's like right in front of me, but I thought I would do it this way so you can see what I see and make it easier for you to understand how it's assembled. And when you are stitching it, it is including a backstitch line. That is a key component to putting it together. At first I didn't understand, or actually even notice it in the pattern, but you have to stitch that with the pattern, your backstitch line. So I like to do, let's start, maybe leave about like 1/2 inch to your backstitch line. I'm just going to trim a little bit there. It's a little bit big. And this is great use for scraps of fabric. So I may pause, and then here is my, this is just going to be my bottom. I just did a simple cross stitch square. I made one of these before, and what I did was I took a piece of the corner, this flower. I think I just did the flower or leaf, or I guess I don't know what exactly to call it, and I put that in the corner, just still using the same pattern, and that turned out quite nice too. So I will cut all this and be right back. Okay, back. So I wasn't exactly thinking. My back stitch color is white. Now hopefully you can still see it, but I really probably should have done a darker color, but hopefully it will do. So grab your DMC 1 strand, and I'm going to be attaching beads as well, so I'm going to be using a beading needle. For this you could use, I guess, any sewing needle. You do want it to be a little sharp because you have to get underneath your backstitch line. Okay, so that's threaded, and I have my nice white beads here, ready to go over here. Okay, so the key is you want to start in the center, the point to a center. That's where you're going to start. Now what you could do is, technically you could count and then divide by 2 and find your center. For me, I do the lazy way and I fold. Basically folding and finding the center, and just have to think about it for a second. Yeah, I'm just going to start and anchor my thread first, and because it's white, it's not really going to show. Yeah, too much. So I'm going to anchor it underneath first, and then you can't even see that, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to come up at the corner. Okay, now I'm going to find my center. I mean, I'm not an expert. I was trying to think earlier. I guess I've only made about 5 of these. And this is where Aida or stiff monaco comes in handy, because you want to fold, basically fold the fabric and make a crease. And Aida's really good for doing that. Sorry, it's hard to be looking at the camera and at this at the same time to make sure. And it's a little farther away. Usually I have this pretty close to my eyes to see what I am doing. And because this is already attached here, I'm going to, oopsie, I'm bumping. I have to remember that the camera is a little bit to my left. There we go, okay. I am just going to start and thread it. I went underneath that backstitch line. Starting is always tricky, and this is, you know, I'm not going to pause the video and get it all started and then come back and it's going to look all perfect, because you're not going to see the hard stuff then, and the hassle it is to kind of start. Yeah, I should have done a darker thread, because you have to fold. You have to fold this in as well. Once you get the first couple stitches in, a few stitches in, it will get easier. Maybe when I'm done at the end, I will do a little, just a little thing with the dark thread. And before my next stitch, actually, I'm going to pick up a bead. So I just picked up a bead, and then you just, let me see if I can get really close. So I'm going under that backstitch line and under this backstitch line. Ta-da! And you're smooshing. This as we go. I am not a videographer, of course. And then actually what also I do, let's see if I can grab it. I'll fold this in and put them together a little bit further down. And then you get this wonderful wonder clip, and just clip it right there. And then you've made it a little bit easier to sew along there. Okay, so that was one. And I'm going to bead every other stitch. Pick up a bead. Under that backstitch line to the other one, and then under that one. So that was a bead. So we go under, under. This is the way I have been doing it. There might be other ways. I'm not exactly sure. Because some might come, oh, I'm sorry. Some might come back this way, this way, this way, and zigzag all the way across. But I go over. So I always start under from this side, go to the side. See how that thread is going to come over? I don't know. It's just how I've been doing it. Under. Under. The fun part is at the end, when you get to stuff it. That really is the fun part, because then you can just see it coming together. See there, I'm under the two backstitch lines. Okay, I'll do it really slow here. Under that backstitch, grab and look for the other backstitch. This is why a darker color would have been better, but okay, and then we grab a bead. There. So I'm going to keep going. When I get to the corner, I might film again because corners are quite finicky. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have reached the end, and this is my first corner. And it's just tricky because you have to keep going and tuck the fabric under at the same time. And I think okay, I just did a bead, so this is a no bead. So under, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that. I had a slight interruption. All right, going around the corner, you are still doing everything the same, going under each back stitch line. And then I gotta pick up a bead before going under the next back stitch line, which is around the corner, which would be this one. Okay, now I've got to try to put these, I line up the two lines first as much as I can, because that makes it so much easier. And then I use the Wonder Clip and clip it. And then I see if I need to adjust that corner at all. Okay, so we just did a bead, so now we do no bead. And yeah, definitely shouldn't have done white, but anyway, we're going with it. It will look pretty. Oh, and sometimes that happens. And this was a bead. That's right. Come on, bead. So I hope you're all having a great weekend and a lovely Monday. I don't know if you saw that. There we go. See, under two back stitch lines. Voila. Okay. And now no bead. I think I did that bead wrong, but that's okay. It's all okay. You don't have to do beading for your first one. I knew that's what I wanted to do, so I mean, it is the same technique, but you just pick up a bead before going through your under your backstitch lines. So that was no bead. I'm just going to put these a little closer. This is why you need a sharp needle. And even if I wasn't beading, I would probably use my beading needle because I think it's the sharpest one I have right here. I don't know if I own any actual hand sewing needles. So I need to bring that out because I'm finding it hard to see the white backstitch line. It's just a lot of finagling, manipulating. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Manipulating the fabric into a fold so it stays in a fold. Need to get under this one more. I might link the video that I saw and where I learned about it. There's actually, I'm sure there's a couple online. So the one I saw where I was like, you know, the light bulb went off, that kind of video, was Jennifer Upton. She has a good Biscornu tutorial as well. And I believe Cheryl, the Tiny Modernist, has one too. So hopefully I will be able to link those down below. If they're not there, just give me a day or so and we'll get those up there for you. Oh, there goes a bead. And then you just, so you can see there, one corner is starting to come together. And then you just go all the way around to this corner. You just keep going around and around. And then you do leave a section open for the stuffing. And I will come back when we are there. Okay, hi everyone, I'm back. And I have most of the sides completely sewn. I've left the opening here, and I've got the fiber fill here. I use, oh, pardon me. Of course, I'm on my keyboard. All right. Sorry guys, it's a little late, so I'm trying to be a little quiet. So the fiber fill I'm using is called Mountain Mist, but you can use any fiber fill of your choice. And I'm basically just stuffing and stuffing. You could floof it a little bit. Yes, floofing. But it's a little tricky. Sometimes I forget where I'm at and I just keep stitching and stitching. And I also have, if any of you have seen this before, this is actually a Tupperware product. It's like an orange scorer peeler thingamajig. And this is what actually I like to use to move it into the corner. You can use, I think a chopstick works really well, but something that's not too pointy because you don't want it to go through your fabric. And the few that I have made, I remember sewing it closed and being like, oh, I wish I added more. So sometimes when you think you've put enough in there, always add a little bit more. And these surprisingly take a lot of fiberfill actually. I like mine really stuffed. See, I can still get a lot more in there. This is the fun part. I think it's fun anyway. You get to see it come to life. And I do some squishing. And then sometimes I'll, some people will sew it close and then just leave it, but I like to do the center so it makes it have that shape. And so I'll do that and kind of imagine what it will look and feel like if I've put enough stuffing in there. I think I want more in there. always a little tricky in this area. You don't want to shove your thread in there either. Otherwise you'll bury it. Okay, now I'm going to sew a little bit more closed. And make my hole even smaller, and then use my tools if I need to stick more fill in there. If I can ever get this threaded. There we go. Now, of course, that's at a corner. Where did my, okay, get that ready. Makes it a little easier doing this after stuffing it. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm not very chatty, I'm just concentrating. But hopefully you can understand what's going on here. But yeah, like I said, I'll try to link Jennifer's video. Her tutorial was very good as well. That's where I had my aha moment. Because otherwise I didn't quite understand how they were put together. But they are fairly easy, and honestly, once you do one, they do get to be addicting. And this is so not going to be perfect, but that is okay. Okay, and I've reached the end by reaching the beginning. So I just wanted to show you how I end the thread. So I do just go kind of under and through a couple times, but really you just poke it down, go all the way and go very far, and then just come up somewhere right there, that far, and then find your scissors, push down on your biscornu, pull up the thread and cut, and the end will just be floating around in there. Now you manipulate it, squish, 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 moving it into the corners. There, and there we have it. But like I said, I like to do the poof, the center thing. So, I mean, if you don't want to do that, you are done. But I'm just going to, I'm going to get some new thread because I like using really long thread. Of course, all these little bits are too short. Let's just get a new one. And I'm going to double it. And I still like to use my beading needle for this, if I can get it threaded through. Almost. Oh, did I? No. There we go. Okay, now just close this up so I don't spill it. I wish I actually didn't put my center bead in yet, but that's okay. I'll just come up right next to it and go back down, maybe even through it. I'm not sure. But I was actually going to experiment beforehand with finding the middle of this by folding it. You know how you find the middle of your fabric by folding it? I was actually going to try that with this piece, but typically I just eyeball it. I haven't quite mastered doing this part of it. I just feel like there's a whole bunch of different ways you could do it. But I think we're just going to eyeball it because I like the long needle, because you have to come up. I'm trying to push down. You have to come up in the center, and that's pretty close. And then, yeah, I think I'm going to go back down through the bead, actually. Maybe not. That's perfect. Because I'm just going to do like the loop method here. I'm going to really squish on it. Then I'm going to come back and do it again. And this time it will be easier because it's holding its shape. I guess as close to the bead as I can get. And if the bead wasn't there, then I would attach a bead or a gem or an ornament, whatever you want in the middle, then I would attach it now. And then the trick is to get back into the same spot. But like I said, there's many ways I think to do this. I think Jen might have also had this on her tutorial. I'll have to look back on it myself. But I generally want to get back to that middle. That's pretty close enough. And I think I just do it a few times. Sometimes you can add a button. Actually, I have one. I can try to attach and because I've already got my center kind of figured out, this could be easier. All right. Stop. Well, we'll see if this works. Where's the tip? I can't even see it. So you are seeing live and unedited finishing. It's just always the trick is finding it's coming back up the whole of the button. Oh, that was good. That was lucky. And then down one more time. Yes, this does work. Oh, and not to get caught on beads as you come back down. You're just feeling your way to the center. Come on. I think my luck is running out. There we go. I think this will be my last. One through. think. Just going to end it this way. Like I said, I'm sure there are many ways to do this. I think I've also seen somehow we wrap it around the center of the button somehow. But anyway, I'm happy with that. There. Yeah. Anyway, this is the important part anyway. Yeah. And that is how I generally put a biscournu together. They are fun to stitch, they really are, and they look fantastic. So, any questions, just please leave them down below. And I'm not very good at tutorials, so pardon me. Sorry, it's very late right now, but I wanted to get this done. And yeah, I am pretty pleased actually with how it looks. Really pleased. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you got some tips out of that. Do try to make a biscournu. They are lots of fun. Okay, have a great day everyone, and happy Flossmas. Bye.